Welcome. I was called to get message for divine masculine and feminine for the winter solstice. And I would like to say, for all that join me at the winter solstice reading, I have what I need to have now. Magical times. Magical times. I want to talk quickly about just the equinoxes and the solstice. We have the autumn equinox, and it's all about release. And within this imagery, these trees are releasing. They are releasing all of their leaves, and the light is being shone within. It's a time of release, and it's just part of the patterns that we came here to create with, so we can continue to expand. Then there's the spring equinox, and it's a time of rebirth, and this energy is connected to Venus, love, and as well as fertility, symbolized by the rabbit, and transformation, because we know we rebirth here. It's connected to the womb. And then we have the summer solstice. And this is when we actually expand with the joy in our heart, the love in our heart that we came here to rebirth and create with. There's radiance. We're radiating. The sun is radiating. We are receiving this beautiful, beautiful sun energy in order for growth. And now, we're in the winter solstice. And it's a time of reflection. And this is one heck of a beautiful image. This reminds me of one of my favorite paintings that my grandfather painted. And I always wanted it. I wish that I could paint like that, to be able to make a beautiful image like that. And then I started painting. And you know what? Painting is very creative too. Anything we can do to be in creation allows us to shapeshift our vibration and connect to the oneness. Now, this midpoint of winter is not only the shortest day of the year, but also the longest night. And we know that. The world is very still and the land dormant. Various festivals of light are celebrated and have been for thousands of years, serving as a reminder that the light will indeed return. Throughout many cultures, there are tales describing this time as the birth of the Sun King, including the Christian story of Jesus, representing the hope of renewal from the darkest period of the solar cycle. This image portrays a simple yet powerful representation of the winter solstice. The blue tint drapes the scene with an even greater sense of quiet and solace, inviting us to walk very softly, lest we disturb the intense yet gentle grace of the scene. The reflection of the trees on the frozen lake reminds us that this is a time for us to go inside to both our physical shelter as well as our internal world. We're there to contemplate the season that has passed, the season that is, and the seasons that are yet to come. Now that's the gift of this. We're connecting past, present, and future because we're about to transform. And we know we're reflecting love. That's what we're doing. We're reflecting love. And this is where we really reflect on the past year, and we rid ourselves of our fears in order to create our joys. We practice gratitude and forgiveness, and we let go of what we need to let go of. And we spend time in solitude if we need to recharge. In reflection, we need to focus on what we're grateful for. Because this is a period of gestating and manifestation if we care for it properly, right? The seed within the soil that will grow and expand. Patience, stillness is called for here. Just as the earth cycles have their own place, so does this cycle. Because then by the time that the summer solstice comes, that's where we're really going to expand what we're planting right now. We're grounding it. Alrighty, let's get our messages here. So just as in the winter solstice reading, I was called to switch out that deck and have these decks present. So, and now these cards, the Earth Magic cards, have been reshuffled with all the equinoxes and solstice cards put back within. Let's just get our messages for the masculine and feminine. And I'm just going to get messages for the masculine and feminine in just in this one reading here. When I was being called to grab this deck, the Lovers fell out and it wasn't reversed. And there's the Queen of Wands and it's not reversed. We have that wand, we found the strength, we're expanding with new patterns, and they're connected to the Empress and sunflowers. It's the patterning of the seed expanding with strength, blossoming. And we know that that's really the gift of the changing cycles. It's in order to expand and grow. There's the transformation through the dark to the light, and we know this is the longest night. There's much representation in what's happening. And there's the Hanged Man. And this is the space that we're about to leave. But we're not surrendering here. There's something still that we're not surrendering to. There's a reason why we're holding on. We're waiting for something to be gifted to us, but it's not going to be gifted to us till we let go. This is connected to a desire, something that we're trying to, a connection. We're not heart-centered there. Because we're not connected to the moon. We need to reconnect to the moon. We can't be afraid of authentic tune. We can't be afraid of ourselves. We can't be afraid of transformation. We can't be afraid of our emotions. We're afraid of what's in the cup. We're afraid of what's in the cup. We're afraid of the water energies, and that's the mother energies. There's a trend, and that's why the Empress is here. The Empress is imbalanced right now, and we need to restore balance. She's connected to the wrong energies here. These are the energies of ego. They're not connected to the sun. They're not connected to the harvest, to the earth. This is being in connection, period. Being in connection with the plants, the animals, the sun, life, patterns, plants. And reverse, there's just no connection. There's just no connections here. There's a disconnect on the path of the moon, and it has to do with the cups. And there is the cups. The Eight of Cups, we need to let go and release. And it's connected to the Two of Wands. Justice. And that's where we connect. That's where the Empress connects. And it's connected to justice. The balancing of our karmic scales and the wheels turning, something clicking and coming together. And it's connected to our rebirth. It's connected to what's activated in death. Because as you can see, we're just a baby. But look at how we expand through death. Look at that expansion. We're connecting to the God and Goddess energy in here. And that's enlightenment. And it has to do with the 9 of Swords and the 7 of Swords and the Star. Ethan, can you please keep it down a little bit? Let's get a reshuffle and see what we can shift between the Hanged Man and the Moon. What can be shifted there to get the Empress to shift to connection? Because things are a little upside down right now. The Page of Wands. It has to do with the wand right now. And how we're creating. We need to connect to inner child with this wand. We need to allow inner child some time to action. Some time to make this right. To create a quality to fill the cup. This is another level of inner child healing. And it's connected to our ace, our light within. We're not regenerating in this Four of Swords. We're not allowing regeneration. We need regeneration in order to expand, to heal from all this transformation. We need to act on allowing the regeneration and rest. It's like we're still in the egg. We're still in the chrysalis. And we need to heal. Or we have expanded from that space and we're fresh. It's like our butterfly wings are fresh. They need a chance to not be soft anymore. You know what I'm talking about. So we're revealing our light from within to without. We're unraveling ourselves. And here's the connection to the world and the serpent energy. And let's just see what we can do to work with switching the Justice card around and then having our death and transformation. Look, Temperance is there again. Temperance was just there. It's the 7 of Cups. It's seeing through what is keeping the disconnect. And there's the disconnect between the masculine and the feminine energies right now. There's a disconnection. And it has to do with Temperance. And this Temperance, we're still not allowing the energies of the Hangman, the Cup, what needs to go from the Cup to shift. The Devil still has a hold on the wheel turning. Things are imbalanced because of this 4 of Swords. The 2 of Swords is reversed. And we're still battling to have peace. And we're trying to turn the wheel with the sword right now and act with it with the wand. But we're unbalanced. We need to restore balance with the Pentacle. We need to destroy something in order to create. We need to destroy to create flow in order to connect. And it has to do with what's lower vibrational for us. It's the devil energies. The devil energies are creating a disconnect right now. And that's anything that's toxic within our environments, people, places, things, habits. There's still something that's being bound here. And it's to a lack of, it's feeling a lack of. And I really feel like there's a disconnection right now going on between the Empress and the Emperor. We need to get something into alignment here. Let's just see what we need to get into alignment here. The Ten of Water, the Fountain of Love. We need to get the love flowing between the masculine and feminine energies. When you are motivated by love, the highest wisdom unfolds. You feel that you are showered by a fountain of love. All that has turned out well. Enjoy this time. It is a time of rarefied joy, spiritual love, exquisite beauty, and deep sharing with others. We need to restore connection by being motivated by love. And we need to have faith. Because there's the Six of Water. We need to have faith. And this is where we restore connection and we restore balance with the Two of Pentacles. And look at that. It's cause and effect. And look at that. It's cause and effect. And we understand that's universal law. That's universal flow. And that's how we end up getting our justice. And this reverses. This goes from we're injustice, we're imbalanced. We don't have our karmic scales in balance. Karmic scale is balanced. And that's where we allow life to be restored, connection to be restored to the Empress. And it's through the Eight of Fire, the lightning path. And that's connected to that rainbow snake. And we're moving on from ancestral wounds. We're moving on from the devil energies. Another layer of the devil energies. We're cleansing them. And it's connected to our DNA, our karma, our activations. Connecting to our ancients in order to move forward. Allowing that energy to help us expand. My goodness. And here with Sister Fire and Brother Wind, we have got the Sagittarius energy, the wand, now meeting up with the sword, the Gemini energy. And here we're connecting. We're connecting in order to expand. And this is breaking free from that cosmic egg of transformation within the chrysalis and having our rebirth. And the masculine and feminine have restored now connection. And it's connected to the Ten of Water. And there it is. We begin again. And look at that. I forgot to remove this card. I tell you. And there is the Emperor and the Empress with the Sun. Now we've restored connection between the masculine and feminine. The Emperor and the Empress. Everything is in alignment. We freed what we needed to free up. We burnt away what we needed to burn away. We connected to everlasting life. We connected to spirit. We allowed shift and transformation. This is creating with new patterns. Look at that tetrahedron behind him. And the Fool is connected to allowing that inner child time, creating with that fire power in order to restore this connection. Because you can see it right here. The Empress has restored her connection to the sun, the light, spirit, the bird's eye view, the moon. This is transforming through the darkness. Counterparts. And that's what's happening. That's what all this transformation has been about. And with that annular solar eclipse, the sun and moon are coming together. It's a magical time. The longest night of the year. And we're going to be really manifesting at the longest day of the year. So come summer solstice time, we're going to really see what our expansions have created. We need to keep in mind we're manifesting here, and things take time to shapeshift and to be gifted to us. Not everything just happens overnight because we set out this attention and then we just hyper manifest and hyper focus on it. We got to let it go, and then we got to continue to create. Childhood innocence. And that's where we need to shift. Childhood innocence. Innocence. The light from the heavens falls upon the children through the rays of the sun that illuminate their presence like a spotlight. The little girl reaches out to these bright beams, and these elements together portray an idyllic childhood activity for many of us who have had the privilege of exploring the natural world. The blanket of lush meadow grass embraces a small pond which leads to a more distant valley, one that is darker and shrouded by the very clouds that also produce this remarkable play of light. In their exploration of the world, it's inevitable that these children will at some point lose their original innocence. It doesn't have to be a permanent loss, however. We don't need to live in constant fear in anticipation of such an event, nor do we have to reconcile the loss of that state of purity by constantly romanticizing the past and missing out on the present. The wisdom and faith we've acquired from our life experiences are keys to recapturing that state of innocence. The light that will guide us through any dark passage is the light of the spirit from within that connects us with Source. Finding our innocence once we again become aware that it was never lost, just forgotten. And that's what we're doing here. And there's the masculine and feminine doing that together in order to restore connection between the emperor and empress. And it's about reawakening and releasing the shame that has covered over the truth of who you are. Take any opportunity to heal the shame and let it go so you can revisit that state of purity. Doing so helps you see every moment with fresh eyes and removes the filters that inhibit your light and love from coming forth. You truly are a child of God, so allow yourself to be that. So it's time to let go, and it's time to release while we reflect on the past, present, and future. And because this is such a sacred time, I want to get out my sacred mirrors cards, and let's just ask them an extra message. Give them a shuffle. Christian, please put the energy from these cards for divine, masculine, and feminine. Can we get a message for divine, masculine, and feminine? To restore connection. It's this one right here. Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. Built by artists, a sanctuary bridging heaven and earth. A womb for the gestation of the awakening human spirit. A conversation that plants a seed of liberation in the midstream of the viewer. Source of self-reflectivity and inter-reflectivity between resonant nodes of a community. Mission: to open the eyes of our heart, and transfigure the world with compassion. Jewel in the universal mind lotus. Refuge for tolerance. Encouragement of wild creative divinity. Gift of love. Reflection. Community. And this is about creating a sense of community. And that's what we're doing, because we're restoring connection and flow. And this is connected to the energy of the caduceus and the two serpents transforming to create holistic health and healing. With the Caucasian woman, the skin, the largest organ of the physical anatomy, details our individuality. Inner systems exist similarly in all people, regardless of race or sex. Skin makes our differences obvious. Identify self as other races and sexes. Feeling prejudices and sympathies arise, integrating with our collective human family. Light skin, light hair, light eyes from the northern hemisphere. White sister, reflect on your history, imagine your future. Reflection, caring. And this is just, you know what, we're all people no matter what. No matter where we came from, what we look like, we're all people that live on this earth. And so much of separating ourselves by what we look like and where we come from, we've lost touch with community. People judge you right away by the color of your skin and where you're from. And the message of this is, as twin flames and starseeds, we're dismantling that. We're dismantling that template. And it's going to be, as I'm holding a naked woman up here. She's going to go in here and we're just going to transform, and we're all going to become one. And we're going to expand with new communities. All this division, and we're going to restore childhood innocence from within to without. And this is for our communities as well. We're restoring childhood innocence within our childhood communities. And that's why I believe that this message is a really important one today, is that we continue having the generous charge, because we understand all this stuff we're going through is in order to create a better tomorrow. A better tomorrow for our communities and connections. And if you're on the path and you're a starseed and a twin flame, and you've really expanded, you're starting to see why we need to do this, why we need to change. Because a lot of every time that these things activate within us, we get very depressed. We get very, we take on the energies. We get very depressed because we came here to shapeshift and transform. And when we don't allow transformation, we can get really sick. We need to allow our activations. We need to allow the process. We need to allow the connection between the God and Goddess energies within us, and not be afraid of that, and not being afraid of people judging us. You know, I was holding this card up and I was reading Caucasian One, and I was thinking, oh please, are people gonna think that, you know, I'm putting up this card just with this white woman because I'm a white woman, and where's the other colored women? And then I was already judging my own self. I was already judging the situation. And I don't think like that. I believe we are all children of the sun. That is my belief. Unless, like, you know, you're an alien that's not a child of the sun and you're doing something else. That's probably a whole other show. But I want to thank you guys for joining me here. Let's just see what's happening in this transformation. Where are we shifting to? We have the Knight of Swords with the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So that's what it's all about. It's all about wish fulfillment. To expand with the cup. These cards right here. And look at that. The Sun, the Star, and the Six of Cups. And there it is. Now we have the Sun twice and the Star and the Six. We need to allow healing. And when we allow healing, the Six of Cups, the balance is restored. That's the key. The key is to get the sun energy, to get the masculine and feminine to connect. And now we just have so many confirming cards that this is where we're going. The connection. And it's in order to restore innocence. That's what we're doing in the Six of Cups. We're restoring innocence. And when we restore innocence, we restore connection. And this is allowing the heavens to help us, our starseed families to help us, our roots to help us, to believe, to trust, to have faith, and to study what you feel called to study, to allow to activate what you need to allow to activate. Because it's activation time. It's go time. We're creating our best 2020s plus. It's abundance time. It's manifestation time. I want to thank you guys for joining me here. Much love and healing vibes sent your way for this transformation. Take care. Sister Wind, the Magician, and this mystery card that I don't know what it is because I've never received it before. We're going to find out what this message is.